Conditions of farm workers in the field generally are quite poor. The job of being a farm worker is actually quite dangerous. It's generally rated as among the three most dangerous jobs, along with mining and construction. They generally don't get paid very well, and they don't have retirement plans. They don't have health care coverage from their employer. They're not covered by federal overtime pay. They are excluded from the National Labor Relations Act. Except in California, farm workers can be fired for joining a labor union, since the National Labor Relations Act excludes agricultural workers and their employers. Farm workers are discriminated against in a number of labor laws. Smaller employers generally are exempt from many protections. For example, unemployment compensation doesn't apply to many smaller employers. OSHA requires most employers to provide toilets to workers. In agriculture, an employer does not have to provide a toilet to workers unless they have at least 11 employees. Their housing is often very poor. There's a crisis in housing for farm workers in this country. Many farm workers are living in very crowded circumstances. They're living in a labor camp that is often decrepit, with poor sanitation, with many people living per room, or they're renting an apartment or a house, again, paying several $100s a month per person when there are many people living in the apartment or the house. There are many farm workers who are paid so poorly, and there's such a lack of housing available that they're living in garages or in cars or sleeping in the fields. Many farm workers are undocumented immigrants, and they are living in fear of detection and deportation. So many times farm workers will just go to their job, do their work, keep their mouth shut, not say anything about not being paid the minimum wage. So many farm workers just feel under pressure, and so they're very marginalized in this country.